That hurt like a son of a gun.
Like a Meg. Listen to questions.
Boner alert. 1, 2, 3. Clearing structure.
No.
Don't have sex. Sex is a sin. I like sex. Sex is this. Sex is bad.
Hungry little fella. Okay, this tattoo says never get married.
Criticality sword.
No, don't. Stop it.
Don't stop.
Stop. Hello and welcome to the Anatomy of Marriage podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Anatomy of Marriage podcast. I'm your host, Melanie Studley.
And my name is Seth Studley.
And today we're answering y'all's questions. We are doing listener Q&A. But before we do that, we need to read the review of the day.
The review of the day.
What are you doing here?
This is a go-to. 5 stars. First, I want to say thank you for being so open about your relationship. It's because of marriages like yours. It gives me hope. What are you doing? I
in
can't
my
read
own.
It gives me hope in my own to know that there are marriages out there on earth that have been through some things and willing to fight for one another. Your podcast has given me so much insight on how to communicate, understand, and love my wife much deeper than the I do. Thank you so much again for the transparency. You have another faithful listener for life. I wish you guys continued success. And that is by M. Wilder. Thank you, M. Wilder. That was a really awesome review. I think reading reviews like this helps to keep us going and is really nice to hear some encouragement about how we're actually helping. We create this podcast because we want to do what we wish we had 8 years ago, and it sounds like we are. So
yeah,
that's
thank
awesome.
you. And if you are listening to the show and enjoying it, please give us a rating and review on iTunes. This just helps people find the show, helps them know that it's worth their time, and gets us sort of higher on the iTunes ranking, whatever the crap it is. But so please,
because we know how that works.
yeah, we know so much about everything. So please leave us a rating and review, and thank you for everyone who has left us ratings and reviews already.
And as always, this podcast is brought to you by MarriageSupply.com.
Marriage Supply is an online store that helps sex lives of couples all over the world. And it's a porn-free website where you can buy marriage enhancements. You're not going to see anything crazy or freaky or weird.
Right.
And that's important. So visit MarriageSupply.com.
That's right.
So we're going to jump into our first listener question. Here we go.
Hey Melanie, hey Seth. I wanted to start off by saying I'm really, really thankful for what you guys are doing. It's been great getting to know you guys and listen to you every week over the past few months, and it's been a huge help on my life. My first question is, so I know that I have to work on myself before I can get into a serious relationship, especially one that could lead towards marriage. I just know I'm not in a place to be, I guess, working with somebody else. I know there's a lot to work on myself that I want to work on. How do I know when I've kind of reached a point where it's okay to get involved and be in a relationship? Like, how do I know that I don't have to keep working on myself by myself?
That is a great question. How do you know when you're ready for a relationship? And first of all, I want to applaud the insight and self-awareness that this guy is talking about, that I actually need to work on some stuff, and this stuff has to be fixed or, I don't know, in a better place before I go and pursue a relationship with another person. So that's awesome. I think self-awareness is the absolute first step in anything. Short answer, there is no, at least in my opinion, there is no, okay, I've reached it. Now I'm going to go pursue
Everything is golden.
a relationship. That's right. It's
a process.
It is a process that continually evolves. And I don't want to sound cheesy like, oh, the journey and blah, blah, blah. However, I found personally, and I'm 40 years old, that if I don't do like a certain number of things, then I can't expect a certain level of awareness or success or whatever. So I have to work on these things continuously, daily. Now, I didn't know that I was like here and okay, now it's time to pursue a relationship with Melanie. I think we just kind of dove in and then worked on things as they came up, but you know, without the specifics of what this listener is going through. I can't speak to any of that. Maybe it's, I don't know, some sort of other mental health thing going on, addiction or whatever. I think work on that for, this is arbitrary, for 3 to 6 months with a therapist, or listen to all the podcasts you can, read all the books you can, talk to people that you trust, other male mentors or whatever. And I say male because sometimes it's more helpful for guys to talk to guys. Look up to people, search and seek out people who you believe to be successful, who you want to emulate, whether it's in life or business or fitness or relationships or spirituality or anything like that. Go out and seek those people, get into groups, get into community, do all these things. But that's a long-winded way to a short answer of, there is no, all right, here we are at the crossroads, now it's time. It is not that. I think innately you'll know, at least in some way, and only you can know this, okay, let's do this. And maybe that's 3 months, 6 months, or a year from now. I'm not sure. But awesome question. Thank you so much.
So he did not answer the entire thing. Just FYI, I have an opinion as well.
Go ahead.
But that was nice that you were going to wrap it up like that and move on.
And we're done. Next question.
So I have very different thoughts on that idea.
Yes.
So one of the ways that I measured my own sort of self-awareness, or where I am in the journey of things, is how often do I feel balance? How often do I feel imbalance? How often do I feel like everything's falling apart? How often do I feel like things are okay? And let me kind of clarify that a little bit. So if every 4 weeks I'm like crying about my relationship, or I can't seem to get my life under control, or I'm so upset about whatever, that's a sign that something isn't quite, like we haven't dug quite enough to get to the root of whatever the issue is. And I'm speaking from personal experience of like, I don't feel like I've made enough growth with Seth if I continue to complain to him about things or argue with him.
Repeat the same things over and over.
Yeah, like that is a sign to me, no, you actually aren't ready for a next step, or you have growth still, or you need to work on this. So I would evaluate where you are personally by those sort of metrics. Like, do I flip out? Do I feel like I want to, quit my job and light the building on fire? Like how consistent am I? How inconsistent am I? And those are just a way to give you kind of a look into your own personal journey or whatever it is, and assess what you need to do better, where you need to grow, where you need to learn, whatever. I would say that as far as relationships are concerned, it's a weird idea, because like if you find someone that you want to be with and you're like, oh no, I can't be with you because I'm not ready. I feel like that's a not super awesome. Like that,
It may be a missed opportunity.
Yeah, I feel like if I was the person on the other end of that conversation, I'd be like, that seems real weird, like real needy of you. Like you don't have time for me because you're too busy working on you. Like I could see the good in that, but I could also see the negative in that and the missed opportunity there. And you could be very explicit with someone you wanted to be dating and say, hey, I have a lot of work I'm working on personally. So I want you to be aware of it. Not good or bad, not right or wrong, not expect something bad to happen. Just this is where I'm at. And
that might be weird though, because like imagine if we were dating and I was like,
yeah, I know. I mean, that's what I'm trying to say.
I have a lot of issues, so I can't go get coffee with you.
Yeah, I know. That's what that's what I'm saying. I mean, I love the heart of the question, but I think the reality of like actually putting that on someone else is a little bit strange. Like I can't imagine how that would actually look. But I have faith in you that you will do a good job.
No, that's a great question. I am amazed at the amount of insight our listeners have, and I wish that I had that 14 years ago. I think would be in a better place.
I wish you had it 14 minutes ago.
I was saying I was actually meaning Melanie. I wish Melanie had that.
Anyway, but that's a really good question. That's a really good question. And I would say like measure your readiness by your behaviors and really assess your behaviors well. And you can also reach out to other people. You could reach out to trusted friends or parents, if you've got parents that you really trust, and say, hey, do you think I'm not ready for a relationship? I mean, someone might be like, oh no, heck no, you need to stop, snorting coke, and then you can get into a relationship. I don't know.
Right.
But
or get a girlfriend that likes coke. I don't know. I am totally kidding. Don't do that. Codependency everywhere. Okay, next question, please, God.
Let's see. Here is the second question. I'm a Christian and was raised in the peak of the purity movement. Can't count how many purity contracts I signed at youth group events. It all went to the wayside in high school when I went through a rebellion against my parents, church, and religion. I ended up on the party scene and started looking for physical intimacy to fill some major voids in my life. Anyhow, I ended up being quite promiscuous and sleeping around. After years of this, I found myself getting involved in church again and working on my walk/relationship with God. Since then, I've really struggled with sex. I've dated a few guys, and when we get to the point of being intimate, I freak out either because 1, I feel guilty, like we shouldn't have it outside of marriage, or 2, I don't think that I can connect on an intimate level. I'm 29 now and in the process of online dating. I met a guy who is a Christian. I like him a lot, and we've discussed sex as a form of being intimate and expressing love, and are clear that when the relationship gets there, I'll be willing to go to that level. But I still feel like I'm sinning if I decide to sleep with him before we get married. So much of my youth was riddled with fear over sex, and I just don't want to ruin another relationship because of sex. Help. I feel so conflicted on this subject, and I am really open to your thoughts. I know it's a tough subject. Thank you for your question.
Yeah, I think this is a tough subject, and we're not experts on like the purity movement or anything like that. And I would say, as a therapist, I've told clients this before and use it in my own life. What we focus on expands. So if there's just an
Wait. Let's do that. So what you focus on expands, but also you can't just erase. You need to replace. So
talk about that, because you used that recently in a conversation that you and I had.
So with the first part of that, what you focus on expands. So if I'm like, if I have a problem with cussing too much, if I just think don't cuss, it'll become this like ominous dark cloud in my mind, and it will mess up and shadow and confuse.
You'll feel like, oh
yeah, it'll just be the worst if I focus on like that, because it just, what you focus on gets bigger and bigger and bigger and becomes more of a thing in your brain. So that's one part of this conversation. You're focusing so much on don't have sex. Sex is a sin. I like sex. Sex is this. Sex is bad. So that's one part. The second part is you can't just erase something. You need to replace it. So that would be like if you had a drinking problem, don't just try to stop drinking. Maybe start doing another thing that replaces the habit of what drinking was. So something like sex too. Like if you were having sex, you were promiscuous, you were using it as like a socializing tool or whatever, replace that with something else. Take up table tennis. I don't know. Do something else that gets like...
The desire to have sex and the desire to have table tennis are a little different.
But it's still fun connection. I like table tennis to go. It's a good game. But you know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah. I
don't knock that over. I'm just worried.
I know what you're saying.
But so find a way to replace whatever that is with something positive. That could just be an idea, a positive idea, that you're replacing this negative sex is bad, I want to have sex, blah, blah, blah idea. Replace that with something else that's better. Maybe the replacement is, so here's the Bible verse. I don't know what thing it is, but everything is permissible. Everything is permissible, but not everything is beneficial. Meaning, so translate, I can do whatever I want. Not everything is good for me. Right. So maybe your replacement idea is, I enjoy sex, but maybe I shouldn't have sex with this person because I don't think it's going to really make me feel loved and whole.
Because it complicates other emotional things that you're feeling, like guilt or replacement or some kind of coping skills. We are not going to put a judgment on, no, you should not have sex with this person, or yes, you should. That's obviously not our call or our business. And so we're not going to answer it in that way. If that's what you were hoping, I apologize. And I think that we can serve you better by answering it in a completely different way. If there is that much turmoil and guilt and self-doubt centered around that, then it might be a better choice for you to not do that, right?
I think it's a sign that there needs to be healing around that.
Right. Some healing and some reframing around that. And one of our great friends, Dr. Tina Shermer Sellers, has an excellent book. And what is it called? Sex, God, and the Conservative Church. And it talks about this whole purity culture movement. And it's an expensive book, and it's pretty, I think it's a graduate level
it's like a textbook,
actually. And if you're really interested, I would highly suggest that you get the copy. Just Google Dr. Tina Shermer Sellers and grab a copy of that. Let's say that I had the same question, but replace the word sex with like alcohol. And I had, and you know, in my upbringing, growing up in the Southern church, alcohol was bad. You didn't do it, blah, 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 all this stuff. But I was like, I really like it. And eventually that gave way to like, I'm drinking too much. And now it's a coping mechanism and I'm just kind of numbing out. If sex is that way for you, or if alcohol became that for me, I would say, you know what? It is now more damaging than it is a positive influence in your life. It is better to not do it for now. It's not saying, don't drink. Drinking is bad. That's the worst thing ever. I'm going to hell, blah, blah, blah. And we're not saying that about sex. We're saying if there is this much negative emotions and guilt and shame and all this stuff tied up into it, and anxiety, especially anxiety, then it might be helpful to put this off of the table.
But don't just erase, replace.
Yeah, we're not going to erase because, it's a sexual desire. So maybe there's healthy masturbation or mindful masturbation that you can do to like fulfill that need. But if it's such a big deal, then I would say let's not maybe focus on that. Let's focus on using different coping skills for whatever anxiety or other stuff that you're having. Go talk to a counselor.
There's different ways to connect with people. I wasn't being completely silly when I said do table tennis. Like go hiking with someone that you really enjoy.
Right.
Go like I don't know, go rock climbing. Go do pottery class together.
It's like this. So okay, say that you and this guy or whatever were connecting really good and you were playing table tennis and it was fun, and you had gone hiking the day before or the week before and you guys were getting to know each other and be like emotionally vulnerable to each other and stuff. And then guess what, after table tennis we
boner alert. I love that you cracked yourself up
because it's really funny. What I was thinking is probably inappropriate, but whatever. And guess what? We ended up having sex. Is it the end of the world? No, it's not. It's kind of like if I had a struggle with alcohol. Don't drink. I can't drink. Oh my gosh, I can't drink. Blah, blah, blah. But my friends came into town, and Melanie was there, and we were all having a good time. And they said, "Hey, let's go to dinner." And they bought a bottle of wine.
Let's go to Applebee's and buy $1 Long Island iced teas.
No, we're not with Bridget. No, and then, I ended up drinking or having 2. Oh my goodness, this is the end of the world. No, it's not. That's just a normal adult thing that happens. And the shame that is like wrapped around in sex and drinking and all this other, you should do this, or you shouldn't do that, or else you're going to go to hell, or you're messed up or whatever, is just something that we hope to not deal with and just kind of erase. And so let it be. Whatever we focus on expands, good or bad. And there's this analogy that I use sometimes in the clinical setting of like, if I'm driving a car and I'm like totally anxious that this curve coming up, I'm going to crash. Oh my gosh, so many people have crashed there. I'm going to crash. Guess what's going to maybe happen when I drive around that curve? I'm going to focus on crashing and I'm going to crash, right? Other than, hey, there's a curve up there. This is something to be aware of. Okay.
Let's drive steady. Let's be steady. Let's drive secure.
Steady. Yeah. Let's be secure and like treat it normally. And then, I didn't crash. Okay. Hey, I went out with this guy and we didn't have sex. Oh, wow. Imagine that. I wasn't crazy focused on it.
Yeah.
And I'm not discounting what you're feeling and your anxiety around that. And I really do think that the more we focus on something, that's where our energy goes. So maybe use some of those interventions and tools. Definitely check out Tina Shermer Sellers' book on that.
Yeah, we'll put a link to that.
Yeah, and that's a great question because I think it's a prevalent issue.
Yeah, and I did want to say too that you've presented this question with a lot of anxiety around it, which means that there is something deeper going on. I think it's a sign that there's something deeper going on, and that's okay. that's okay. You just acknowledge that and say, I think I need some healing around this. And like I said, I think the alcohol analogy is pretty good there, because there comes a point when, and it could apply to anything. It could be, like being overly concerned with what other people think about you, right? Like I always need Seth's opinion for me to do anything. Like when it's not a problem, it's okay. Like, oh, I like Seth's opinion, but now I actually need his opinion to feel okay. Then it's a problem.
Yeah.
And there's an analogy that I came up with that I think applies to this, where it's really easy to blow out a single birthday candle, right? Like if there's a birthday candle, not very hard. Blow that out. It's kind of easy to blow out 10 birthday candles, right? But when you start getting to like the 30, 40, 50 birthday candles, you're fixing to set your living room on fire, right? It is not easy to blow them out. Things can catch on fire. They get bigger somehow, like they light this bigger fire. And so think of that with each time that you feel that, like the little candle of the desire of sex, and you know, like, oh, I don't think this is an appropriate desire right now. Blow the candle out. Like, don't feed that flame. Don't save it for later.
Don't feed the anxiety of it. We're not saying like suppress sexual desire.
Yeah.
We're not saying that.
Don't feed the anxiety and the unhealthy, the sort of dishealth. What is it? Unhealth, non-health, anti-health.
Unhealthy.
But it's not the right way. Don't feed the unhealthy of it. The dishealth.
I'm not sure.
You see what I'm saying? Don't feed the dysfunction of that.
Right.
Don't like store away all of those candles to light your living room on fire. Like take care of them one by one as they come.
Yeah.
And don't overly focus on it, I guess.
Good question. I hope that helps. If it doesn't,
sorry.
Well, sorry. Yeah. First of all. And secondly, email us back.
Yeah. And thank you for the question.
We read and respond to every single email. So
okay.
Keep that up. Third question. Hello, Seth and Melanie. First, I love your podcast and I'm grateful for what you're doing. I've been married for almost 3 months. Wow. Triple newlywed. Triple 3 months, right? and being a newlywed has proven to be more of a challenge than I thought. And so I have a couple of questions. First up, my husband and I seem to argue pretty often about pretty much everything, and I feel that many of these arguments could be easily prevented. I've been applying I statements and other advice given on the show to try to diffuse or prevent any harmful attitudes, but it seems that my husband is on the defensive no matter what or how I say it. I don't know what or if anything I am doing wrong. Any advice on this? Okay, the first thing.
2 words.
2 words.
Go. We're gonna say what we think the 2 words are at the same time. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Clearing structure.
We are in love.
Now the next set of words. 2 words that represents what just happened. 1, 2, 3. True love.
Awesome.
That was 1 word.
You were doing too fast. I was thinking about something else. So about your question, thank you for the question. Wow, 3 months. That is
exciting
and crazy. And I think back when we were married only 3 months, I don't even know what was going on or if we lived on Mars or Jupiter.
Nothing good.
Or it was crazy. And so congratulations on your new marriage. And I'm also glad and encouraged that you are listening to shows like ours. So keep up the good work. If you have been doing I statements and clearing structure and they haven't been getting through, I would ask one thing. I would ask, what is the follow-up to that? Are we using words like always or never? Like, you never want to talk about I statements, or you never, or you always, get upset when I try to do the clearing structure or whatever. And I would also focus on, are you guys being critical of one another, and are you guys being sarcastic? John Gottman talks about
the 4 horsemen,
and being critical and using sarcasm as a way of communication is absolutely not helpful, especially when you're talking, like things that you want to change with your spouse or different conflicts or arguments and stuff like that. Sarcasm and criticalness it absolutely doesn't work, because, and I say this all the time with couples, it instantly, speed of light, puts the other person on the defense. It's like, here you come with a sword of criticalness or sarcasm, and guess what?
Criticality sword.
Oh my goodness.
It was funny.
Yes, Monty Python. And here I come with my shield. And so when I have a shield up, I'm not really listening to what you're saying. I'm only in defense mode, right? And being critical or being sarcastic only brings that up. Of course, if you want to be like constructively used constructive criticism, that's a different story. And if you want to be sarcastic, like, oh, nice one, goofy, you know, when we're playing tennis or something, and I like, you know,
table tennis,
right? And that's a different game. So I have a couple questions for you. Does your brand new spouse listen to the show? Is he open to feedback? You know, how self-aware are you guys? Is this your first marriage? How old are you? You know, do you both work? There's all kinds of things that layer that I would want to know to answer this question more fully. But what are your thoughts on it?
I think that I know that I suck at I statements. So I would replace I statements with clearing structure, like the actual clearing structure PDF.
It's kind of the same thing. But
it's not. In my world, it's not.
You're not a therapist.
Anyway, I don't do I statements well. I need the clearing structure in order to create I statements that are helpful. Otherwise, I don't make them helpful. They are complaining when I try to make them on my own. So I would say that use the clearing structure instead of just trying to make I statements. The second thing is I want to look one layer beyond or beneath what the types of confrontation or arguments that y'all are having and what they are, like what they're stemming from, right? So for example, one of the things I know that we dealt with is sometimes I'll be like, hey, I want to do this thing. And then Seth would be like, I don't want to do that. And then I would be like, you don't think my ideas are good? And that the stem of that fight is not the thing we want to do or not do. It's the insecurity that I feel, right?
It's what you were making up about it. Yeah.
It's what Seth, like, it's nothing to do with his desire to not do the thing, but it's my insecurity about what that meant that he didn't want to do it. Right. But things like that, like trying to go one level deeper of the motivation behind why you keep fighting. So a lot of times, especially in newly married situations, it's family of origin stuff. It's,
good point.
Like we just got off a consulting call where that was primarily one of the things that this couple argued about. Like my family does it this way, but my family does it this way. Well, how do we do it? This is totally different. You can't just do what the other person's family does. You can't just do what your family does. Create your own new thing. And if you're not down at the level of, oh, this is a family of origin issue, you're just going to get mad over and over.
Yeah, there'll be some blaming like, you're not doing it the right way, or
why don't you want,
the right way.
Yeah. Why do you do this? Like, why can't you sit with me at dinner? But maybe their family, they never sat together during dinner. It's not like your spouse hates you. It's just not what they're used to.
On purpose. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I think that for me is the bigger, like, apart from, you know, whatever Seth said. I don't even remember what he said.
I said great things.
Yeah. Apart from the great things that Seth said, I think getting to use the clearing structure to help you create your I statements, get your spouse to do the clearing structure as well. And then, but really go then next layer down. Why do we continually get into a fight? What is it? Is it insecurity? Is it doubt, self-doubt? Is it fear? Is it anxiety? What is that? Is it like a really genuinely deep wound that needs to be healed that will make those fights go away? And start sort of investigating that.
Yeah. Thanks for your question. I'm glad that you're looking and seeking out resources like this. So good job. Awesome. And next thing, you wanted to talk about tattoos? That's kind of left field. What do you?
We keep getting questions about what our tattoos are.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Our listeners keep asking us what our tattoos are. And so I thought we should share.
Okay.
I think it's really fun.
That's a great idea. Okay. All right, go.
Well,
no one can see your
I have to take my shirt off.
Ooh, yeah.
You start. Show them your amazing tattoo on your ankle.
No, I'm not.
You have to.
Why? I'm not showing them my chest tattoo.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
I'm not taking my shirt off on live TV.
As you take your shirt off.
Right.
You have to.
This is inappropriate.
No, it's not. Okay.
Okay, so Melanie has a tattoo on her butt.
Of your face.
Butt face.
Butt face. Okay, so we will start
Let's
here.
go in order.
I am.
All right, go.
You're older. Do your tattoos first.
So, I have a tattoo. It's of a cross, and this was my first tattoo. Like, okay, yeah, everybody gets their first tattoo of a cross or something.
Wait, I should take the thing
in an
off.
inconspicuous place. So now it's your turn. What was your first one?
My first tattoo was this one right here. It says "Mother."
Moth her.
And I love it, and it's an anchor with a heart. I love Popeye.
In dedication to
things
Dawn Bernil record.
And I love my mom.
That's right. My second one was here. Hold the mic.
Oh, it's a triangle. It's a trinity.
It's a triangle. It means the Trinity in Christianity with eternity. So a lot of people think it's a AA tattoo, which is fine, or a pink triangle with I think that's a lesbian sign. So
that's your second one.
Whatevs. That's my second one.
Oh, my second one is this one. It says "saved," and it's a flower. It's a rose.
Saved, like she cuts coupons.
Saved money.
To go to the grocery store.
No.
My
Christian.
Third tattoo, which hurt like a B word, is this one. Hold this.
That's a dove. No, sparrow. And
it's from a Bible verse, how God, creator, takes care of the flowers and the birds and so much more, that
He'll
God
take
will
care of
take
you.
care of us. So that was really meaningful to me.
My third, is this my third one?
I don't know.
And this says faith, hope, and love. And then these flowers are forget-me-nots. That hurt like a son of a gun.
Like a meg.
Like you couldn't believe how bad that hurt.
Okay.
No, your chest is your next one.
Oh, dang it. So I have a big... No, don't. Stop it.
Don't stop.
Stop.
Don't stop.
I don't like this.
Show it.
It is a big... Don't.
Don't stop.
Oh, my gosh.
It says Melanie, and it has an anchor.
It's a big chest tattoo. It says Melanie in cursive writing, and it has an anchor. It says faith, hope, and... what does it say?
Faith, hope, love, and...
Faith, hope, love, and...
something else.
I forget.
Peace.
It's kind of faded. And I got that for Melanie for Valentine's Day like 10 years ago, and I surprised her with it, which is kind of cool.
And then my next one is this. I may have done it out of order, but it's on my back of my arm, and it's a tattoo that is designed from like the inspirational design of a beaded Chippewa purse, because I'm Native American.
Tell them what tribe specifically.
Chippewa.
White Earth.
Mississippi band.
It's beadwork.
But yeah, so that's inspired by that, because I'm Native, although I don't look like it.
And then this is here, hold my mic. To my face.
Jeez. Golly.
This is some bear paws. Melanie's family is from the Red Bear clan, actually, and that's not made up. That's a real thing. So I got bear paws on my forearms, and then I think... What is your next one?
My next one is this one.
Oh, wow.
My seagull. I have a seagull that was inspired by a gift
seagull?
card set that I got at the Goodwill, like a set of greeting cards, and it had like a stipple seagull on it. Oh, I still have them. I mean, I bought this years ago.
Pretty
and
cool.
we went on our anniversary and we're like, let's get tattoos. What are you going to get? And I ran to my office, grabbed my seagull thing.
Oh,
and
yeah, that's true.
I love my tattoo.
And on that same anniversary, we got tattoos on the same night, and I got this one. It says Catawba Indian Nation, and that is the tribe that my mom's side of the family is from. Yeah, my granny ma, who is the native one, calls it the Catawba Indian tribe.
No, I think it's tried.
Tried. I'm not sure. She says a lot of words. Kind of. She also says telefoam.
And plum granny for pomegranate.
Yeah, so there's multiple things. So that is
and then I have this one.
It
says Seth with an arrow through it. Because why not?
Yeah, why not? Why not? And then, okay.
Wait, no.
Probably my favorite tattoo.
Hold on. My other ones I have
Which one do you have?
Eyebrows.
Oh, yeah.
My eyebrows are tattooed on.
You got a face tattoo. You're hard.
That hurts so bad.
You're like prison.
Yeah.
You're like hardcore. And then, if you look at that one, right there, that is a cross. And that one is cool because Melanie gave it to me.
With a needle.
She actually did it. And what's secondly
like
cooler?
at our kitchen table.
I made the ink from a cedar tree, from cedar bark that I burned and pummeled into ink. And then like I gave part, Melanie did
I did the
part
first
of
part,
it.
but it was so gross I couldn't finish.
It is kind of gross.
It's
to
like
feel
you
the
can
skin
feel the
poking
layers
through.
pop. It's really
and then
gross.
I gave it to myself. So
you finished it.
We both did it. And then my next one was...
My next, I think, is Knuckles.
Knuckles. So there's this thing where sometimes, a lot of our anniversaries, our marriage anniversaries, we go and get tattoos. And I got this one. It says Iswa, and that means people of the river in Catawba language. And at the same time, Melanie got...
Hold fast, which is a Bible verse, but it's also an old-timey sailor thing from my favorite movie, Master and Commander. The guy who has a thing, he's having an operation on his head, he has hold fast, and he's putting a coin.
Like 3 people saw that movie, and 2 of them included you and I. So, and then I got a hand tattoo. It's an arrowhead with some tomahawks on it, which I think is kind of cool.
And then my last tattoo is my bottom knuckles. It says Lady Boss, and the O is a diamond on my finger.
For Anatomy of Marriage, right?
Not really, but sort of.
Well, sort of. And that is the story of our tattoos. I can't think of any more that we have.
Yeah, I don't think we're forgetting any.
Right.
I want a tiger tattoo really bad.
That'd be pretty cool. Everywhere we go, we want to try to get tattoos.
I want a chest tattoo.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Like really bad. I want you to get a neck tattoo or 5.
I don't know, man.
But we love tattoos. And it's funny because like Seth's grandma was like, "Aren't you worried about what they'll look like when you're old?" But when I have for all of my life loved when people have tattoos that you can't even see what they are anymore.
Yeah.
Like I love old sailor, like gnarly, like Sailor Jerry, like these
a blurry ink spot.
Yeah, I just love it. I just feel like it's the story of your life written on your body. I love it.
Yeah, I like that story of your life. So what would be cool if you guys would send us Facebook photos or Instagram photos of tattoos that are meaningful to you, and even hilarious tattoos that maybe you wish you didn't have. That'd be really kind of funny too. Like, oh yeah, check out this,
Or if you have a tattoo of a tiger, then you want to inspire me, send me that.
That's right.
I'm going to tell you a funny, quick little story about tattoos. So when we were very first dating, we drove down to South Carolina the month, I guess it was December.
Yeah.
It was 2 months or so after we started dating.
Yep.
And I was soundly asleep in Seth's brother's bed, like he was his brother. I was staying in that room and his brother was there.
Sleeping with her brother.
I was asleep, and Seth's mom, I woke up to her sitting like on the bed right here. Like I'm sleeping and she's right there sitting with the Bible. And she begins to tell me, she's like, "I really have a problem with your tattoos. I just need to tell you." But so Seth's mom is explaining like the Bible verses that say you won't mark your body and all of these things. And I'm just like, what is going on?
What is the next verse after that?
Well, but so I just politely said, "Yes, I understand. I'm sorry that these differences make you upset. I didn't have you in mind when I got my tattoos. I just was doing my thing and no big deal." And then but then I was looking at the Bible verse, and like the one right above it is like, "Thou shalt never wear clothes made of 2 fabrics." And I was like, "Girl, look at you got spandex and linen." Like, I was like,
we're in Spanx all day.
Yeah. I was like, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But
so that was a little funny kind of thing.
And I think if my body is a temple, I'm going to paint some artwork on that temple.
Hey, there you go.
Like stained glass.
Stained glass. There you go.
What's the giant thing on the Sistine Chapel? Anyway, so that is the story of our tattoos. And share your tattoos with us. We think that would be super fun.
Yeah, we'd love to see them.
And please, if you're not signed up for our email newsletter, go do it right now. We share fun things and pictures and stuff that we don't share anywhere else. And we share things like our surveys. And we really are wanting y'all's input on our surveys so that we know where to host events, Anatomy of Marriage events, dating events, premarital events, marriage events, all sorts of things. So your surveys help us figure out what to do, where to go, and you can get the surveys by signing up to our email newsletter on our website, anatomyofmarriage@gmail.com. I mean, anatomyofmarriage.com.
Yep.
And please send in your questions. We're ramping up our question and answer game. So call us at 425-310-2194 and get your voicemail on the show. We'll answer your questions here.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Let's do it. Anything else?
No, I don't think so.
All right. Adios.
All right. Talk to you later.
All right. Thanks.
Bye.